Tiger. She walked up in the young brother's house and smoked him in his own apartment, bro. She walks up in the young brother's house, Botham Jean, and she shot this man in his own house, bro. Swore up and down, I thought it was my apartment, and it wasn't, and I saw him in there and said, let me see your hands, let me see your hands, and she smoked him. Cold-blooded murder, and all she got was 10 punk-ass years. All she got was 10 punk-ass years. But I guess it's better than nothing. It's better than nothing, but you will never get we'll never get to see Botham Jean again, but it was better than nothing, because I tell you what, most of the time, these police officers, they fuck around and get acquitted. They get acquitted real quick. They get acquitted real quick. They killing us left and right, fam. We're dropping like flies fucking with the police. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. That would look, if they would have shot this young brother down, if they would have killed him, see, his whole life flashed before his eyes, man. You guys gotta take a look at this young brother, man. Take a look at the young brother and look at him. And you could tell that he shook up, like his whole soul, his life flashed before his eyes. His life flashed before his eyes. He could have been another dead brother, just like Bob. Fucking with Texas. Fucking with Texas. That's your Texas officer. Look at her eyes. Look at her. Look at this bride. Look in her eyes, bro. She don't even have a soul. You can look in her eyes and you can see this bride don't have a soul, bro. This bride do not have a soul, bro. Look at her, bro. She don't have a soul. Don't she look hella evil? Look at her. You're a murderer. You're a murderer. I can say you're evil. You're a murderer. You took somebody's life away, so it's only fair for me to call you evil, say you're evil. You took somebody's, you're a murderer. You're a murderer. And that's not hate speech. I'm calling it for what it is. If you kill someone, you're literally labeled a murderer. That's what you did. You murdered this man. You're a murderer. You're a murderer. This man's life flashed before his very eyes, and they would have been another victim. Another victim. So you see, you got a lot of people out here, fam, they telling you, enough is enough. You know, our sisters will go out and they'll protest real quick, but our sisters can only do so much. Our sisters can only do so much, but like I said, enough's enough. Enough's enough. You know, see, and you got another one with the sister saying, on the left, she got the poster saying Black Lives Matter, and then you got the brother to the right stating, stop killing us. Stop killing us. It's just that simple. You know, and then as I showed you guys the video, you know, and Rodney, he really, you could tell he really tried to not cry, fam. And I know that feeling, you know, that when you get that tardiness in your throat where it's like real harsh and it's like hard to swallow, and you try not to cry. And his mom to our right, which is his left, she can't hold back her tears. You know, Mom Dukes can't hold them back, bro. Moms can't hold the tears back like we can. Moms can't hold the tears back like we can. But let's say this, and this is another thing. See, about black people in Texas, man. You're too loving and you're too forgiving. You love your enemies so much that after slavery was finally completely, once it was abolished, it was still slavery going on in the South. And then after they abolished slavery, you stayed down there in the South. I don't understand that whatsoever, fam. That is what really gets me. It ain't even just necessarily Texas. It's all over the South. Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, all those fucking slave states, fam. Wherever there was slavery at, once slavery was abolished and they said you're free to go, you should have not stayed down there, bro. So for everybody else, we look at this shit and we go, okay, so if you stay down there in the South, especially racist ass Texas where the Ku Klux Klan is every fucking where, and you look at this picture, it makes sense. Those are the type of Negroes that you see in the South that love their enemy. If you guys don't understand, or you guys must have forgot if you did not see the footage when this had happened, Amber Geiger, before she was sentenced for being the murderer that she is, for being the evil demonic murderer that she is, okay, before the sentence was laid down, or even after the sentence was laid down, it doesn't even fucking matter. The person who was going to give her the judgment was a black judge, and the black judge hugged her and showed her some love. I ain't never seen a judge hug a murderer, fam? When have you ever seen a judge hug a child molester? When have you ever seen a judge hug a rapist? When have you ever seen a judge hug a drug dealer? When have you ever seen that? Oh, some new shit today, but you've seen it lately, and guess what? The judge just happened to be of African descent. You know the judge is a Christian. You know she loved that Jesus boy because the Jesus boy was given to her foremothers and forefathers by her enemy, which they gave her the God that she worshiped, and this same judge gave Amber Geiger's evil murderer's ass the Bible, and she said, "This is my Bible, and I want to give it to you." And whoop-de-wop, and then gave her a hug. You're hugging a murderer. And I'm going to ask you guys this again before I switch the slide. When have you ever seen a judge hug a rapist? When have you ever seen a judge hug a child molester? When have you ever seen a judge hug a drug dealer? And worst of them all, the worst crime of them all. When have you ever seen a judge hug a murderous, terrorist, demonic demon like Amber Geiger? You're a demon. You're possessed. You're a possessed demon, and you're evil, and you're a murderer. And that's not hate speech. I'm just calling it for what it is. You're a murderer. And YouTube, I know they hate me. YouTube hate me because I do shows, I go all out, and I'm being nice right now. I'm being nice right now, but YouTube, y'all can try me if you want to. You can try me if you want to. I'll do it again. I'll create another page. I'll create another profile, and I'll do the same show over again. You can't fuck with me. I'm calling it for what it is. But my question before I move this slide over: when have you ever seen a judge hug a murderer after or before sentencing, or just period, bro? So that goes to show you that the system's rigged. Because I guarantee you, if that was Tay Tay, if that was Ray Ray, if that was Pookie, if that was Shavana, if that was Shaquita, they would not be hugging right now. It's upsetting. It's upsetting. And the person that's supposed to lay down the judgment worship a God that was given to her by the slave master who raped and molested her baby every night. The one that kept her against her freedom, denied her education and her foremothers and her forefathers freedom, education, justice, and equality. And then you turn around and then you go and prove why our people in the South were in slavery for so long, because you had people who were brainwashed and they loved the white man and the white woman who was doing them wrong so good. They loved them so much that even when it's time to lay down the hammer and lay down the judgment for the worst person, the worst crime you can ever commit in humanity, which is murder, you get hugged and embraced like an angel. And you know what? And we're tired of it, fam. If you want justice, you're not going to be able to get it through the justice system. The only way you're going to be able to get justice is by following the rules and the laws of the African ancestors and the magic through the voodoo that was given to us by our ancestors. If you want justice in the South, if you want justice anywhere in America, not even just the South, fuck it. Because like Malcolm X said, as long as you south from Canada, you in the South. As long as you're south of the border of Canada, you are in the South, which makes perfect sense to me because George Floyd, he was murdered in Minnesota, and that's the closest you can get to the border of Canada, and that's as north as you can go from Texas. That's as north can get from Texas, and he was murdered by the Ku Klux Klan in uniform with their knee in his neck. So once again, if you want justice, you're not going to be able to get it from the justice system because you can clearly see that the justice system is rigged. You got to pray to your ancestors. You must pray to your ancestors to get justice for all the wrongdoing and all the terrorism and all the child molestation and murder and everything that we witnessed here in America. And best believe, voodoo works. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with voodoo. I know the white man told you that the voodoo is the devil. I know the white man don't want us worshiping voodoo and practicing voodoo and black magic and whatever the fuck they want to call it. I know they don't. And you know why? I'm going to tell you why. The white man don't want you practicing voodoo. Europeans don't want you practicing voodoo because it actually works. That Jesus shit don't work. That punk ass New Testament, Old Testament dumb shit don't work. That Yahweh, Yahshua, that dumbass shit don't work. I don't give a fuck if you's a Hebrew Israelite. I don't give a fuck if your religion takes you to the Bible where you have to read up on some old ass prophet that you don't even know existed and you can't prove existed, then you're gonna set yourself up for failure. If your spirituality ties in with the Arabs or with the Europeans or any one of your enemies on the planet, if your spirituality ties you up with them, you're gonna fail and it's not gonna get you nowhere. So I'm gonna just say that straight up. Now here's a quick little photo of a ceremony where the Africans, they chant and they call on the spirits of the voodoo gods, and then the spirit goes inside this what you see here, and then it moves around and spins in circles. And when they lift the I don't know what it's called, I can't think of what it's called right now, but when they lift it up, there's no one there. So this is just a quick ceremony, and they love to do this because they want to show signs that the actual magic of voodoo does work, it does exist, and it's not a sham. And that's what we need to do. You see? And here's another beautiful picture of our brothers and sisters in the motherland, doing another practicing voodoo ritual. They got all dressed up and they swagged out and they chanting and they call on the spirits of the African gods and our ancestors that rest on the outer realm. You got the different frequencies and dimensions and different realms. We can chant and we can call on our ancestors to come down and provide us assistance. It's nothing new. It's nothing new. We can do our specific spiritual dances, our specific spiritual chants, and when we do those chants and stuff, if we do them correctly and you have the right ingredients that's required, you can crack open the portal, and it will allow the spirit that's required for the assistance needed at the moment to enter our realm. From the spiritual realm, they enter into our realm here on earth, and they provide us assistance the same way that the spirit provided the Haitians assistance to fight off the European demonic demons who were molesting them and raping them, and aka the slave masters. Okay. Now, in the background, you see the Pope. I think it's Pope Francis. I don't know who he is. One of them popes. You see him, and the Pope dude. He's everybody's sitting there smiling, and they just look at it like it's just some regular ass dancing that these Africans is doing. But these melanated brothers got these motherfuckers thinking that they just doing some, just putting on a show for entertainment purposes. And little do they know, they're actually doing some real shit. They're actually communicating with the spirits with the African ancestors who rest in the spirit realm, requesting assistance in regards to what's required. And these motherfuckers don't even know that. They sitting here with the Pope, and they sitting there on the sideline with their shirt and tie, and they don't even know that. And while they're doing their dance and while they're doing their chant, the portal opens up, and it's just a brief, quick little example of what it would look like if you could see it. But the portal will open up, and when the portal opens up, the specific spirits that was called upon, the specific energy and the spirits of who was called upon, that rest in those realms, they come to us, fam. This ain't nothing new. This ain't nothing new. This is old news, baby. This ain't nothing new. This is old news. This ain't nothing new. Now, here's a quick example of they got the little, that they try to be metaphoric, what I'm saying, when it comes to African spirituality. There's a sister that they had in the little, I don't know if you're familiar with X-Men, but they call her Storm. She controls the power of the weather, and they made sure to make her an African sister. They made her black. Even Halle Berry plays her in the X-Men, the latest X-Men films, outside of what they displaced in the comic books. But that's just a metaphorical of what's really real. But they're not gonna tell you that. They want to put her in a comic book and put her on the shows, or put her make little cartoons out of them and shit, so you can just look at it all. Oh, it's just a cartoon, all whoopty wop. But actually, in reality, we have called upon the spirits to provide us assistance here in America. Now, I ain't gonna say no names. I ain't gonna say no names, but while these Europeans are sitting here in America and these Ku Klux Klan terrorists are sitting here in America, and they thinking that we just sitting here reading out of the Bible, praying to that Jesus boy that was forced down your throat on the plantation, you're wrongfully mistaken. You have brothers like me, and you have brothers and sisters elsewhere here in America, in this demonic ass country, and we're literally praying to our ancestors on a daily basis, on a nightly basis, and when we sleep at night, when we're resting, our body's resting, but our spirit, we have an out-of-body experience, and we go into the realm, okay? Something similar to what this vortex-looking thing look like here. And when we go and we go through the realm and we chill with our ancestors, we speak with our ancestors, and we're letting them know every fucking thing that's going on. We're letting them know every little thing that's going on. And our ancestors let us know. I ain't gonna say no names, but I'm just using me for an example. Our ancestors, they've let me know that justice is on its way, fam. Justice is on its way. And our ancestors don't play that shit. Once you call them through the portal and they show up and they arrive here in the earth realm, it's a motherfucking wrap. They smell blood. And you better get out of the way. You better get out of the way. And another thing, in America, the whole motherfucking America is gonna be destroyed. But right now, our ancestors that have made it through the portal, they're working their magic on the areas in America where we were predominantly done wrong, where their babies and the melanated beings were done wrong, where we were slaughtered, where we were enslaved, where we were just treated inhumane, bro. There was no human rights for us. We weren't even looked at as humans, bro. We were on the same level as dogs and cattle and sheep and pigs and shit. So when I speak with my ancestors, I'm telling them everything, bro. And and then my ancestors, they be like, where did this happen at? And I point right to it, right there, down there in them states. A, B, C, and D. I'm pointing to a point everywhere in America where they did us wrong, fam. And when our ancestors come through these portals, they come through and they're not playing. They're not playing. When have you ever seen it snowing in Texas? Texas is hot. Texas is damn near like Mexico. Actually, Texas was Mexico. If those of you who don't know or forgot, if you do your history on Texas, in which, just like a lot of other states in America, it was taken by the indigenous and the native people who were already there. And just like in Mexico, Texas was a part of Mexico. It got taken. It was stolen. The war broke out, and then the Europeans took it. But all that to say this, when do it ever snow in Texas like this, bro? This is Texas, G. When do you ever see it snowing in Texas like this, bro? You don't ever see it snowing in Texas like this, fam. Look at all the snow. What, we in New York? What the fuck is going on? This is weird. And then, in fact, Texas, it's looking real bad in Texas, man. You got people with no energy. They ain't got no lights. They ain't got no power. You got people who stuck in their house not knowing where their next meal's coming from because the winter storms in Texas that hit in a major way, and they're not understanding what the fuck is going on. What is all this about? I'm gonna tell you what it's all about. Our ancestors were called upon, and they're coming to give us justice, and you're going to suffer being in those slave states. You're going to suffer. Now, black people, y'all better get up out of there. Y'all should actually been already gone. Like I said, during the time after slavery was abolished, why and what would possess you in your right mind to stay in those slave states, bro? You're not going to be treated fairly. So why are you still there? Why? It beats me, fam. It couldn't be me. It couldn't be me because guess what? I know for a fact, based off of my family tree and what my mother and father told me, mainly my father, I have roots that takes me back to Mississippi. And that's no surprise. That's no surprise. I know I have some type of bloodline in the South because why wouldn't I? If my African brothers and sisters and my foremothers and forefathers of melanin descent were held captive against their will in those states, why wouldn't I have any family down there? But see, I was born in the Midwest, and that goes to show you right there, just based off what I just said, I was born in the Midwest. That means that my foremothers and my forefathers had enough sense to get the fuck out of there, boy. They had enough sense